Morning Internet, and welcome to another thrilling video from the International Bigshot. In this video I'm going to do a sort of a review of my international bigshottery over the past year. So it's going to be a short video. Just like almost everybody else, I have not been able to travel as much as I would like, or let's just say I have not been able to travel at all. I've been here in Northeast Pennsylvania since May of 2020. It's now August 2021, and although the end of these travel restrictions seem to be, well, the feeling is that they're going away soon, but that's anybody's guess. Who knows what's going to happen? And then once it is okay to travel from one country to another without unnecessary quarantining or restrictions or something like that, who knows how much it's going to cost. The carefree days of taking off and flying to Europe or Asia or Africa, I think, are over, at least for a while. Malaysia, probably where I would fly to immediately anyway, recently revised their retirement visa requirements, which pretty much put it out of reach of almost anybody that was considering actually retiring in Malaysia. It's not actually retirement, it's an extended residency visa. It's good for, well, it was good for 10 years. Now it's only good for 5 years. So that was my original plan. I'm not really sure that that's going to actually be a workable plan anymore, but I will be back there, just not under an extended residency visa. So that means that I'm going to be here probably in Pennsylvania, or at least the United States, for quite a while longer. In terms of months, let's put it that way. Hopefully it's just months. Last year I told everybody that I would be returning to Southeast Asia at the end of the year. That was over a year ago. Now I'm telling them the same thing at the end of 2021. And it might happen, but it also might not happen until 2022. So I'm looking at ways or things that I have to do to make my stay here, I don't want to use the word permanent, but a little bit more official, let's say. And the first thing, of course, is a driving license. Now, I made a video about getting my Malaysian driving license, I think in 2017 or 18, I forget the year. But you can look at that video with the link up there. In that video, I made some comments about how it's never a good idea to cut ties with your home country, because things like driving licenses and other kinds of things like that will eventually expire, and you're going to have to replace them somehow. And the only way that I had to do that in Malaysia was to apply for a local license, which was a Malaysian driving license. So I have one of those, which is good in the United States if you have an international driving permit to go with it. That's how tourists, when they come in to the United States, that's how tourists rent cars and stuff. They don't get a U.S. driving license. They use their, whatever country they're from, they use that driving license, and they have what's called an international driving permit. And that, along with their home driving license, allows them to drive or rent cars in the U.S. My international driving permits, no matter where you get them, are only good for 1 year. And the one I had from Malaysia expired last September. So although my Malaysian driving license is still a valid license, I really can't use it in the U.S. because I no longer have a valid international driving permit. You say, well, Bill, why don't you just go get an international driving permit? Well, the problem is because the international driving permit is only issued by the country that issues you your driving license. So if I had a Pennsylvania driving license, yeah, I could get an international driving permit from someplace in the United States. But since I have a Malaysian driving license, my international permit has to come from Malaysia. So I needed a U.S. driving license. The second thing that I have to work on is getting some kind of phone service. I have been sort of depending on Morning. I've been sort of depending on wireless to use international phone calling on either a service called Viber or Skype, and that's fine, but I have to be tethered to some kind of a Wi-Fi connection to make that work. So I'm thinking now of getting some kind of a phone service, but I think also, as I mentioned in another video, phone service in the United States is ridiculously expensive. There is no other country that I can think that I've ever been to where phone service is this expensive. The last time I had U.S. phone service was with Sprint in 2013. I think that was when I cut it off and got a Malaysian phone. But I was paying $60 to $70 a month for phone and data with Sprint. And I believe it's a little bit more now. But that's a lot of money. In Malaysia, I don't pay anywhere near that amount of money. And I get lots of fast data, plus the same phone service that I get here. I can call pretty much anywhere in Southeast Asia for free. Phone calls to the United States, international calls, are much, much cheaper. If I call from Malaysia to the US, it's so cheap it's not even worth thinking about in some cases. But that day is over. Until I get back there, that's not going to be something I can depend on, so I'm thinking of phone service here in the US. And I'm thinking of eSIM services like Mint. T-Mobile has an eSIM service. Google Fi. I'm not sure Google Fi would be that useful for me though, because right now I use an iPhone. But those are the kinds of things that are going into my International Bigshot update. So I'm not much of an International Bigshot anymore. I'm just more of a big shot, not an international one. At least not for a while. Okay, let's wrap things up here. I think I already mentioned I'm still here in Carbondale, where there's never a dull moment. There's always something going on. We're getting ready for Pioneer Nights, which start this coming week. I think this is Sunday right now. I'm recording this on a Sunday morning. And our Pioneer Nights start on Wednesday or Thursday. So hopefully that'll be the subject of next week's video, where there's always something going on in Carbondale. There's never a dull moment here. So anyway, that's it from the International Bigshot. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.